It's very happy to have you here on February 2nd, Monday, for lunch on a panel discussion on Stalin and World War II. I just want to give you a couple of ground rules. There'll still be food back there, and you're welcome to get it during the session. Could everybody please turn off any communication devices you might have? It can wreck up our sound system. I'm Richard Weitz. I'm director of the Center for Political Military Affairs at Hudson Institute and recovering Soviet Studies student. So it's a pleasure to participate in this event. We're honored to have various guests, and I'll introduce them as they speak. But just for the order, it'll be first Viktor Suvorov, then Andrei Poinkovsky, and then David Satter. Viktor Suvorov, just to remind everybody, by the way, his book, we were here to discuss that, but the book for itself is on sale outside at a discount, and I'm sure that the author would be happy to sign it for you. Viktor Suvorov is a former Soviet Army officer who served in military intelligence. In 1978, he defected to the United Kingdom, and he's been working there as a lecturer and intelligence analyst. He's the author of 18 books, and of which have been translated in some 20 languages, including Inside the Aquarium, The Making of a Top Soviet Spy, and Icebreaker, Who Started the Second World War, and this current work is a further development of some of the theses which the author first laid out there. So please welcome me in joining Viktor, and welcoming Viktor Suvorov. He will be speaking in Russian with when we'll have an interpreter for you.
Господа, название книги «Главный виновник». И когда я произношу вот эту фразу «главный виновник», я сразу чувствую такое напряжение в зале, и народ реагирует неоднозначно, потому что кто-то говорит, если Сталин главный виновник, значит, Гитлер не главный виновник, так получается. На это я отвечаю.
Не так много.
Ladies and gentlemen, the title of my book is Chief Culprit, and every time when I introduce this title, I feel the tension in the audience because people get surprised. What if Hitler is not chief culprit? Then what is it?
Я просто хочу сейчас вам показать один очень простой прием советской коммунистической пропаганды. Я ни в коем случае не защищаю Гитлера.
And I would like just to show you a very typical trick of the Soviet propaganda. By no means I'm trying to defend Hitler.
Советская пропаганда говорит, Гитлер плохой человек, Гитлер плохой человек, Гитлер плохой человек. Я с этим согласен. Вот Андрей Пьянковский согласен, вот Алеша согласен, все согласны с этим. После этого нам коммунисты говорят, а вот Сталин воевал против Гитлера. Ага, чудесно. И тогда мы складываем 2 и 2 и получаем результат. Гитлер плохой мужик, Сталин воевал против Гитлера, значит, Сталин хороший человек.
The Soviet propaganda says Hitler was a bad guy, and everybody agrees with it. I agree with it, Andrei Pьянковский agrees with it, and even my interpreter agrees with it. So basically then there is the next following step. Stalin was defeating Hitler. Hitler was a bad guy. 2 plus 2 means 4. That means that Stalin was a good guy.
Я с этим не согласен. Я считаю, что когда один крокодил ест другого крокодила, это не значит, что вот это хороший крокодил, а вот это вот плохой крокодил.
However, what I would say is that when you have a case when one alligator eats the other alligator, one alligator is a good one and the other one is a bad one.
И если один мафиози убивает другого мафиози, это не значит, что вот это вот хороший, а это плохой мафиози.
If one mafioso kills another mafioso, it doesn't automatically mean the one who was killed, the bad guy, and the one who kills the good guy.
И когда говорят, что Гитлер плохой человек, то из этого вовсе не значит, что Сталин был хорошим человеком.
So when people say that Hitler was a bad guy, it does not mean it automatically by default that Stalin was a good guy.
Для меня, лично для меня, Гитлер это преступник, это убийца, это людоед. Но если мы считаем, что Гитлер был людоедом, из этого вовсе не следует, что Сталин был вегетарианцем.
For me, Hitler is a criminal, is a murderer, is a cannibal. But the fact that Hitler was a cannibal does not automatically make Stalin a vegetarian.
Русский народ постоянно смотрел на этого человека и видел в нем преступника, большого преступника. Вот так вот в советских лагерях представляли товарища Сталина. Но вы скажете, что это, конечно, враги режима, которые вот, ненавидели Сталина. Я горжусь тем, что мой народ воевал против коммунизма. Была у нас жестокая гражданская война, когда народ выступал против этого. И после миллионы людей находились в концлагерях, они выступали против этого режима. Но и друзья Сталина после его смерти или после его убийства тоже выступили на 20-м съезде и сказали, назвали его великим преступником.
Russian people always hated Stalin. They never had an illusion about who Stalin was. This is the pictures which I show you were pictures, popular pictures, popular cartoons, self-made cartoons were. That's how Russians were portraying Stalin. And Stalin, there was Russians lost millions of lives fighting Stalin and his people. There was a civil war, bloody civil war, and then there was Gulag system, concentration camps, and all those millions of people who lost their life in Gulag, they were all Stalin's enemies. And even Stalin's friends, Stalin's fellows, started to criticize him once he died.
Один из величайших сынов Америки, которого звали Рональд Рейган, назвал эту систему, назвал Советский Союз империей зла.
One of the greatest sons of the United States, Ronald Reagan, gave a perfect name for the Soviet Union. It was an evil empire.
И вот я, когда говорю о сталинском преступном режиме, повторяю, я ни в коем случае не пытаюсь защитить Гитлера, ни в коем случае. Просто я говорю, что было два преступника, один из которых был умнее другого. Сталин развязал Вторую мировую войну руками Гитлера.
So all what I want to say is that there were not one bad guy, not one criminal, but two criminals, Stalin and Hitler. And Stalin started the World War II by using Hitler as his tool.
После Первой мировой войны сложилась ситуация, когда никто не мог развязать новую войну. Германия была полностью разоружена. Франция находилась в изоляции, то есть она строила совершенно... Стратегия Франции была полностью оборонительная. Великобритания не имела никаких претензий, территориальных претензий в Европе, то есть Америка тоже проводила политику изоляции. Поэтому никто, никакая великая держава в Европе просто не хотела и не желала новой войны.
Nobody wanted the war, after the World War I was over, nobody wanted to start a new war. Nobody was interested in this. Germany had no army and no capacities to start the war. France was planning only defensive policy. They were building big Maginot Line, which was a clear indication that they were not planning to attack anybody. United Kingdom had no territorial claims in Europe, and the United States were completely into the isolationist mood. So nobody really in Europe or in the big world was interested in war, in a new war.
В этой ситуации Сталин и коммунистическое руководство Советского Союза приложили все усилия для того, чтобы воссоздать германскую военную мощь. Сейчас у меня нет времени рассказывать о том, как готовили немецких летчиков в Липецке, германских танкистов готовили в Казани, немецкие подводные лодки конструировали в Ленинграде. Фирма Юнкерская создавала свои самолеты в Филях, это район Москвы. Я просто говорю о том, что Сталин поднимал германскую военную мощь, и мы должны задать вопрос, а против кого? Ну не против же сам себя. То есть он поднимал германскую мощь против остальной Европы.
Stalin and his regime did their best in order to rebuild German military arsenal, German military might. The German pilots who were forbidden to be trained in Germany were training in the Russian city of Lipetsk. The German submarine crews, tank crews were trained in Kazan. The German submarine, new submarine designs and new and submarine sailors were trained in Leningrad. The Junkers company were carrying out the new designs of the new planes in Fili, which is an area in Moscow. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time for you, enough time to tell here about all those very sophisticated activities on Stalin's side. But the thing is that Stalin helped Germany to rebuild its army. The question is, against whom?
Сталин помог Гитлеру прийти к власти. Я тоже сейчас не останавливаюсь на этом вопросе. Я перехожу сразу к пакту Молотова-Риббентропа.
The other very important issue, which unfortunately I don't have enough time right now to go into big details, is how Stalin helped Hitler to come to power. It is a long story, and I'm going to cut short and go straight to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact.
22 июня 1941 года Германия напала на Советский Союз. И это исторический факт. Но это очень странный исторический факт. Потому что до 1939 года между Германией и Советским Союзом не было общей границы. Гитлер никак не мог. И я задаю вопрос, кто уничтожил барьер между Советским Союзом и Германией?
Everybody knows that on June 22nd, 1941, Hitler's Germany attacked the Soviet Union. Although it is a well-known fact, it is a very strange fact, because before August 1st, 1939, Germany and the Soviet Union did not have a common border. There was a big Poland between them. And the question is, who done it? Who destroyed this barrier which was protecting both Russia and Germany from attacking each other?
19 августа 1939 года министр иностранных дел Третьего рейха Риббентроп, Иоахим фон Риббентроп, прибыл в Москву, и уже через двое суток был подписан договор между Советским Союзом и Германией. И случилось так, что товарищ Сталин затем на этой карте поставил свою роспись. К сожалению, эта наша электроника не работает здесь. Я хотел бы вам показать, ну, в книге эта фотография есть. Сталин стал писать, свою подпись ставить на карте раздела Европы, раздела Польши. Сталин стал писать, остановился и вдруг написал огромную роспись 58 сантиметров. Здесь, в Америке, да, вот она здесь есть, эта роспись. Так вот, чтобы вы представляли себе, что такое 58 сантиметров, я вам покажу, что это такое. Вот так вот. Вот такая вот подпись. Прошу прощения, так, 58. Вот она. Вот такая подпись. Нету там, ну ладно. 23 дюйма подпись Сталина. Я должен обратить ваше внимание на то... Ладно, не надо это электроники. Да. Давай.
On August 19, 1939, German Foreign Minister Joachim von Ribbentrop came to Moscow, and 2 days later they signed the treaty according to which Soviet Union and Germany divided Poland. And what is interesting is that Stalin signed this map, and I just would like to show you this signature, which is very important. He started to sign it, and then he stopped. He interrupted his signature, and then started to write it again.
Stop.
He was so excited that he used 24 inches size of the signature all across map. You don't need to be a psychologist to understand how excited he was when he was signing this map.
Вот здесь он начал писать, Сталин, вот маленькая вот подпись, потом остановился на половине слова и и потом вот такой вот махнул огромную подпись. Но я должен сказать, что эта подпись незаконная, потому что Риббентроп, вот его подпись здесь, он являлся министром иностранных дел Третьего рейха. А Сталин в это время был генеральным секретарем коммунистической партии. То есть он не глава правительства, он не глава государства. Когда он ставил эту подпись, он знал, что все равно это он когда-то нарушит.
What is interesting about these signatures also is that, look, first of all, you should look at the size of the Ribbentrop signature. It's a normal, but what is interesting is that this document is illegal. Ribbentrop was an official. He was foreign minister of Germany. Stalin was nobody. He was not prime minister, he was not president, he was secretary general of the Communist Party, which is not an official government position. And technically, just by signing it, it was already not a valid document.
Сейчас я скажу только одну вещь, и мы, наверное, перейдем к вопросам, это будет более продуктивно. 19 августа, когда Риббентроп прилетел в Москву, в Советском Союзе началась тайная мобилизация. 19 августа, именно в этот день.
Given the fact that the format is not exactly what I expected it to be, I'm going to wrap up, and I just would like to add one more thing, and then we are going to go to Q&As. I would like to add one more thing, which means that on the 19th of August, 1939, when Ribbentrop came to Moscow, Stalin began secret mobilization.
До сентября 1939 года в Советском Союзе не было всеобщей воинской обязанности.
Before September 1939, there was no such thing as general obligatory draft, military draft in the Soviet Union.
Людей призывали в армию на выбор, вот этот человек, этот и этот. То есть призывали 1/3 призывного состава.
People were drafted by a system which is very similar to a lottery system. Only a third of the people who were qualified to be soldiers were drafted.
И призывной возраст был 21 год.
And the age when people were drafted was 21.
Я всегда удивлялся, почему это так, потому что сам я был когда-то офицером учебной дивизии, мы готовили 20 тысяч сержантов в год, и я знаю, когда получаешь солдата 18 лет, когда ему, то из него можно лепить как из пластилина. Если он немного задержался почему-то, 20-21 год с ним очень трудно работать, потому что это уже сложившийся мужчина.
I was always surprised why this age, 21. I used to be a military trainer, and I know very well that when you have an 18-year-old boy, it's a pliable material, you can do anything. When you have a 21-year-old, it's a completely different story. It's already an adult, and it's much harder is to train such a person.
В Советском Союзе для людей это было очень неудобно, но я всегда думал, а зачем государству нужна такая система?
It was very inconvenient for humans, for people of the Soviet Union, but I was always wondering why did the system needed this strange age, this strange system.
И мы можем понять логику этой системы в момент, когда ее отменили.
But the logic of the system can be understood only in the moment when it was abolished.
Эта система была отменена 1 сентября 1939 года.
The system was abolished on September 1st, 1939.
В этот день в Советском Союзе была введена всеобщая воинская обязанность.
It was the date when the military draft in the Soviet Union became general and obligatory for everybody.
И в этот же день этим же законом призывной возраст был снижен с 21 года до 18 лет.
By the same decree, at exactly the same date, the military age draft became 18.
Получилось то, что Сталин специально, преднамеренно заготовил огромное количество резервистов, которых раньше не призывали.
It means that Stalin deliberately prepared a big mass of reservists of people who were not drafted earlier.
И вот получается ситуация, когда говорят в военкомате, тебе 18 лет, мы тебя забираем. Всех, кому 18 лет.
So let's count. Everybody who is 18 goes to the army.
Тем, кому 19 лет, всех тоже забрали в армию.
Everybody who is 19 goes to the army, is drafted.
Всех, кому 20 лет, тоже забрали в армию.
Everybody who is 20 is drafted.
21 тоже в армию.
Everybody who is 21 is also supposed to be drafted.
И дальше сказали, вот тебе 23, но ты-то раньше в армии не служил.
And then everybody who is older but was not drafted before was also drafted.
И 24, и
So
25.
even if you are 23 or 24 and 25,
Не объявляя мобилизации, Сталин увеличил свою армию с 1 миллиона до 5,5 миллионов в мирное время.
so without declaring mobilization, Stalin increased his army from 1 million to 5.5 million in the peacetime.
Однако мы должны понимать, если эта система была введена 1 сентября 1939 года, значит через 2 года, 1 сентября 1941 года, все эти резервисты должны были уйти домой.
But we should also understand that the military service term was 2 years, so which meant that if people, all those 5 millions of people were drafted on September 1st, 1939, it meant that on September 1st, 1941, everybody was supposed to go home.
То есть Сталин в 1939 году, 1 сентября 1939 года, он знал, что до 1 сентября 1941 года он должен напасть на Гитлера.
So by September 1st, 1939, Stalin already knew that before September 1st, 1941, he is supposed to attack Hitler.
Иначе он останется без армии.
Otherwise, he's not going to have soldiers.
В 1941 году сложилась удивительная, уникальная ситуация.
In 1941, we had a unique, very unusual situation.
Сталин называл Гитлера ледоколом, ледокол революции.
Stalin used to have a nickname for Hitler. He called him an icebreaker. It was short for an icebreaker for the revolution.
То есть до того Сталин использовал тот же самый трюк внутри страны.
Before he applied this trick in the foreign policy, he used it in his domestic policy.
Был Ежов Николай Иванович, народный комиссар внутренних дел, который истребил миллионы сталинских врагов внутри страны.
For example, there was Nikolai Yezhov, who was a people commissar for interior affairs, who was basically the previous name of a KGB organization, who killed millions of people in the Soviet Union.
После этого Сталин убил Ежова.
Several years later, Stalin executed Yezhov.
И объявил, что все эти преступления это не сталинщина, это ежовщина.
And declared that all those crimes were committed not by Stalin, but by Yezhov. So the name for this whole period is not Stalinщина, but Yezhovщина.
То же самое Сталин готовил сделать в Европе. Гитлер для Сталина расчистил всю Европу. В 1941 году, летом, в начале лета 1941 года, в Европе Гитлер уничтожил все правительства, все парламенты, все организации, все армии, посадил миллионы людей в концлагеря.
By summer 1941, Hitler cleared Europe for Stalin. He destroyed practically every state. He dissolved every parliament. He put millions of people in concentration camps. He put everybody. He created the prison of Europe.
И Гитлер готовился атаковать Великобританию.
And at that point, Hitler was preparing to attack United Kingdom.
Если бы это случилось, то весь германский флот был бы против Великобритании.
If that would happen, in that case, the whole German Navy would be against Britain.
И вся авиация была бы против Великобритании.
The whole German Air Force would be aimed against Britain.
Все танки, все лучшие генералы.
All the tanks, all the best generals would be poised to fight Britain.
И вся Европа ждала освобождения.
And the whole Europe would wait for liberation.
И Сталин готовился быть освободителем.
And Stalin was preparing himself for the liberator role.
По моим подсчетам, Сталин должен был начинать войну 6 июля 1941 года.
According to my very complicated calculations, Stalin was planning to attack Hitler on July 6, 1941.
Гитлер опередил Сталина на 2 недели.
Hitler preempted Stalin by 2 weeks.
Но лучше всего, если вы будете задавать вопросы, а я вам на них буду отвечать.
In order to explain myself better, I'd rather answer your questions. Please ask me questions.
Actually, actually, we're going to have the 2 official commentators ask questions and make any comments they'd like, and then we'll open up to the floor. The first commentator will be Andrei Plenkovsky, who we've been very fortunate to have here at Hudson for several years, very prolific writer and scholar. He was executive director of Strategic Studies Center in Moscow. He still is a very well-known political analyst in Russia as well as in the United States. He contributes regularly to various publications in Russia. Although he's an applied mathematician by training, he's written several best-selling works on Putin, presidency, political developments in Russia. His most recent work is another look into Putin's soul, which I believe he has a copy he can show us right now. But otherwise, Andrei, do you want to speak from here, or would you like to speak from...
Yes, I see.
Okay.
David, and we understand that audience is anticipating questions and answering session of the week. So I try to be rather short. I make several personal observations, even not so much about Viktor work, but about its impact on Russian society. By now, his books are already edited in Russia by millions of copies. There were dozens of different editions. But until now, the fate of his concept, his books are rather difficult. It's rejected by considerable part of public opinion. The problem is that his concept is, as one your politician called his theory, a very inconvenient truth. And the problem is that Mr. Gore, so-called inconvenient truth, is inconvenient for one part of society and very convenient for another part of liberal leftist school of American thought. In Russia, from 1956, from famous Khrushchev speech about Stalin crimes on 20th Congress of Berlin, until now, our society is split basically in two different camps, Stalinist and anti-Stalinist. Today's liberal and conservative, and they're the same, another names for the same two fundamental parts of Russian intellectual society. The problem with Viktor's book is that it was terribly inconvenient for both of them. Certainly it was inconvenient for Stalinists because, well, chief culprit, Stalin is responsible for the Second World War, it's blasphemy. But it's inconvenient. The problem was it's inconvenient for liberals, for anti-Stalinists also, because of one of the pillars of anti-Stalinist school of thought in Russia in 60s, 70s, during Khrushchev, and Perestroika was denouncing Stalin for his unpreparedness for the war with Hitler, for his stupidity, that he was duped by Hitler and did not prepare a Red Army for the war with Hitler. And this Viktor concept deprived this anti-Stalinist camp of very, very important tool of propaganda, this anti-Stalinist ideas. It's my first rather psychological observation. The second observation is of scientific character. I am not expert on conventional war, so I am an ordinary reader of Viktor's fascinating book. But I am expert on nuclear strategy and wrote several books on this subject. In mathematical nuclear strategy, we have such two first strike instability index. It's defined by the ratio of cost of striking first in nuclear confrontation of two superpowers and striking second. Everybody knows this concept, strategic stability. This is concept on which all the IBM treaties and START 1, START 2, and other treaty were based. Strategic stability means that for each side, cost of striking first is more than cost of striking second. Striking first, it's damaging in current disposition of Russian and American nuclear forces, or Russian or Chinese or American. This is the scenario of striking. The striking first means death for both sides. This is the basis of strategic stability. But there are situations when striking first is profitable, even for both sides. And in conventional warfare, this was a classical situation between Russian, Soviet, and German army in May-June 1941. And in this situation, even such terms as aggressor, victim, preemptive strike, retaliatory, they are losing their meaning, because the war is inevitable, because each side is tempted to strike first, because striking first gives more benefits. So it's a matter of luck and just circumstances, whether you strike first and one counter side strike first on June 2nd, 22nd, other strike first on July 6th. Let's look on this situation in the retrospect of Viktor research. What was scenario of striking first for Stalin? Crushing victory and conquer of Europe in very short term. What proved to be a striking second? Well, very difficult victory in 5 years with losing 30 millions of people. What were the stakes for Hitler? Waiting or striking second defeat, and striking defeat in matter of several months. Striking first in victory negotiation, also defeat, but in 5 years. And here it's led me to one point in which I disagree with Viktor, and this is I dare to present to your attention another, maybe even more inconvenient truth. And this inconvenient truth is the fact that I think that Germany had chances to win in Soviet-German war after June 22nd. Moreover, Soviet Union was losing war in 1941 and in the first half in 1942. Even Moscow victory was not decisive, and the Soviet Union suffered terrible defeats in the first half of the second 22nd war. Why? Because, well, there were 2 million of Russian prisoners of war in the beginning of war. It's not only a result of Stalin unpreparedness for defensive war, and it's not only a result of inefficiency of Soviet commanders. It was to much extent the result of many soldiers, peasants, sons of peasants who just through collectivization, who did not want to fight for Stalin. Moreover, Ukrainians greeted German forces with flowers. What happened? What changed in 1942? And what was, to my view, was the decisive factor in the not only in Russian-German war, but in the Second World War. The decisive turn was not Stalingrad battle, without due respect to heroism of Soviet troops there. The decisive factor was the change of mood of both Ukrainian and Russians. In March 1942, Ukrainian insurgent army turned against Germany. Russians and Ukrainians during half a year of occupation reviewed for themselves that Germany, that Hitler was much more terrible threat for them than Stalin. Because Hitler was driven by fascist, racist ideology, which perceived Slavs as an inferior race. So my disagreement is rather well, fine and sophisticated. Hitler could not win the war with Soviet Union, but Germany could. Germany lost the war because it was a fascist Germany. Imagine for a second, if Hitler gave independence to Ukraine, or allowed, or set up a vast army from Russian prisoners of war, not in the end of 44, but in 41, well, it's very inconvenient truth for all the world. That issue of this war may be different. My final point, excuse, but it's. I think that I provoked some research for your next book to make this point more clear to American audience. The same thing happened in Iraq in 2006. America was fatally losing war in the second half of 2006. What changed the course of Iraqi war? A rebellion of Sunni tribes against Al-Qaeda, like a rebellion of Ukrainians or Russia against Hitler on occupied territory, because they saw. They hated Americans, but they realized that Al-Qaeda is more terrible, terrible threat to them. Why Al-Qaeda could not win this war? Just because they were Islamic fascists. And on the same reasons, German could not win the Second World War, in spite of all terrible mistakes and crime of Stalin, because fascists.
Thank you, Andrei. Our second and final commentator will be David Satter, who is also a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, and he is a visiting scholar at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies. He was the Moscow correspondent of the Financial Times of London from 1976 to 82, and has been writing about Russia and Soviet affairs through 30 years and often participates in our events here. He's among his numerous writings, he has written 2 books. The first one is Age of Delirium, The Decline and Fall of the Soviet Union. And the second one is Darkness at Dawn, The Rise of the Russian Criminal State. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I'll try to be brief. I'm delighted to meet Viktor Suvorov because he played a role in my life when I was a correspondent in Moscow. In fact, I was stopped at the border with his book inside the aquarium. And I was in the middle of reading it, and the border guard wanted to confiscate it, which made me extremely cross. And he explained to me that they weren't confiscating the book, they were only holding it. So I tried the following approach. I said, okay, you can confiscate my book, but I want you to just admit that the Soviet Union violates the Helsinki agreements. The border guard said the Soviet Union observes all of its agreements. I said, except the Helsinki agreements. He said, especially the Helsinki agreements. So he took Viktor's book, and in fact, I wasn't able to finish it until I left the country again and bought another copy. So, but in any case, I was always curious about the author because I was struck by how well written and well argued it was. And certainly this book is very much in that tradition. And I think that the point that Viktor makes is very important for the future of Russia, because what's holding Russia back is the country's state tradition and the denigration of the individual in Russia. And the great justification for that dangerous and harmful tradition is the fact that, well, look, we won the Second World War, and we played this humane role, saving, in fact, all of Europe from the brown plague of fascism. What Viktor shows, in fact, is that there was no intention to save anybody, and that what happened was, if we overlook for a minute the arguments that can swell around the title, The Chief Culprit, nonetheless, we have, as Victor has put it, two crocodiles who each were planning the destruction of the other, and it was simply fortuitous that one struck first. In reading, I am not a military specialist. Nonetheless, in reading Victor's book, a couple of questions came to mind, and I just want to briefly mention these in order to open the discussion for all of us. Number one, I was struck by Victor's technical description. For those of you who haven't read the book yet, and I guess most of you haven't, one of the points that Victor makes is the technological superiority of Soviet weaponry, particularly Russian tanks, artillery, and aircraft. Well, the industrialization of Russia had been going on for less than a decade, and it had been based on foreign plans and foreign specialists. The first question that occurs to me in reading Victor's book, and which I hope he will answer, and I'm sure he will, is how was it possible for the Soviet Union to have achieved such technical superiority in weaponry on the eve of the Second World War, having started from such a low industrial base? Another question that I had in mind that I wanted to ask him as I was reading the book concerned the Sukhoi 2, the Ivanov bomber. This was the small bomber which Victor describes as a winged Genghis Khan, which was intended not to be the highest performing bomber in the world, but one that could be mass-produced in enormous quantities and would be capable of destroying German installations in a surprise attack. Now, in his book, Victor says that the plan was to have everything in readiness for the serial production of the Su-2, which is the Ivanov bomber, and that as soon as the war began, they were to be produced in enormous quantities, if I've read correctly. But the question that occurred to me was, well, once the war began, it would be too late to produce them in enormous quantities. They were needed in enormous quantities in order to launch the attack. So it seemed, in any case. Another question that occurred to me was, why wasn't Hitler more aware of the implications of the Soviet victory in the Battle of Khalkhin-Gol in Mongolia, when the Soviets decisively defeated the Japanese in 1939? It was that battle that kept the Japanese out of the war, and that was the reason why the Soviets were able to transfer enormous numbers of troops from Siberia to meet the Germans and stop the advance on Moscow. As Victor explains in his book, what was already revealed in that battle was the superiority of Soviet artillery and Soviet tanks. This certainly should have given Hitler pause and given him at least some hesitation about such an overtly offensive military strategy. Another question that occurred to me was, I was fascinated by Victor's description of the Winter War with Finland. I had always thought, and I really recommend, it's one of the most interesting parts of an extremely interesting book. But nonetheless, I was always under the impression that Hitler and the Nazis regarded the Winter War as proof that they could destroy the Soviet Union and that the Soviets would not be able to withstand the Wehrmacht. As Victor points out, Victor treats the Winter War as, in fact, a brilliant Soviet victory. So I want, and he explains this very well, why, and the obstacles, and how well defended the Finns were, and how impregnable the Mannerheim Line was. But the fact is the Maginot Line was also impregnable, and the Germans found a way to get around it. What did it say about Soviet strategy, that there was no way to get around the Mannerheim Line? And finally, And I have other questions too, but I just want, this is in fact maybe the most important question I would like to give to Viktor. Surely Stalin understood that the great risk of his offensive strategy was that he could fall victim to a Nazi preemptive strike. Under these circumstances, how is it possible for him to ignore the intelligence reports that were pouring in from all agents and the evidence of the railways that the Germans were moving massive troops to the border? And these included the reports of Dekanozow in Berlin, who Beria thought was crazy for warning of an impending German strike, and also, of course, Richard Sorge. Now, Viktor in his book says, well, Stalin had no reason to believe Sorge. He'd given bad information in the past. But Sorge sent a microfilm of a telegram from Ribbentrop to the German ambassador with the news the war was going to break out in the middle of June. How could he ignore that, especially given the stakes? Now, there's an interesting book written by David Murphy, who was the CIA bureau chief in Berlin, I believe, at the time of the Cold War, in which he amasses all of the information that Stalin had that should have led him to believe that a preemptive attack was imminent. And of course, as we know, and as Viktor proves beyond any doubt, the stakes were enormous because both of these crocodiles were planning the same thing. So finally, my final question for Viktor is how does he sort this out? The failure of Stalin to do anything to A, react to these intelligence reports, and B, prepare some type of plan B given the stakes. So Viktor, I'll let
Thank you.
from there it's up to you.
Go ahead and answer, and then we'll go to Heinz.
Number one, let me just start from a last question. How Stalin don't believe? Look, let's imagine you're Comrade Stalin, okay?
Why not?
And
There are some reasons.
yeah, just and I knock to you and say, sir, I like to attack you tomorrow. You say, but why? What is the reason to attack me? Germany cannot fight in a two-front at all. Hitler, right in his book called Mein Kampf, Wilhelm II was not very clever man because he fighting in a two-front. Germany have no enough strategic resources at all. And if you fighting in a two-front, you destroy yourself because main principle of any strategy is to concentrate power against weakness. If I'm fighting against simultaneously two enemy, it is terrible. And from point of view of Stalin, in front of him there is Great Britain, and it is actually dead end for his Hitler strategy. He cannot capture Great Britain. He have not enough navy. He have not enough aviation. Behind Great Britain there is the United States of America. He cannot win such a war at all. You see, so he have to control Yugoslavia, which is not possible to control. He have to control France, Belgium, Holland, Norway. You see, so and that situation, he turned against Russia. Why? And Stalin have a very good intelligence services. And before Second World War, he killed all the chief of the GRU, it is the Russian military intelligence. You see, so it was Berzin, it was a long list. But in the 22nd of June of 1941, chief of Russian military intelligence, it was a Lieutenant General Golikov, Philip Ivanovich. So Golikov later became Marshal of the Soviet Union. And you say, oh, stop. Before, you see, so it was no such a failure at all. But Stalin killing his bosses of intelligence. And there is a Golikov in 22nd June of 1941. And Stalin said, you're a great man, you see, so just, it's a more extra star for you, more. General-Polkovnik, so General Colonel, Army General, Marshal of the Soviet Union. Yes, so Stalin have no any kind of nothing against Golikov at all. So I was officer of Russian military intelligence myself, and when I was in a military academy, I just say, what's actually happened? He have to kill that man, yes? And he never did it. So what's actually happened? Stalin asked Golikov, there is lots of information about preparation of Germany to attack us. Is it true or not? Of course not. Because how many tanks Germany have? 3,200. 3,200. And we have 25,000. Yes, Hitler have an amphibious tank? No. We have a 3,000 amphibious tank. Okay. Hitler have a heavy tanks? No. No heavy tanks. First heavy tanks, Tiger, it is August, September 1942. Nothing. We have a KV tank. KV tank, you see, actually, it was no picture here, you see, so, but there is a picture of KV and lots of, there is a reports of 200 anti-tank shells inside of one tank, but cannot penetrate it. We have 711 of them, and we start mass production. It's today we have 711, but tomorrow our factory will produce more and more and more, and Hitler have no heavy tanks even in a paper. So we have a long-range aviation. Hitler have no long-range aviation. And the most important thing, do they have a sheepskin coats? Yeah? Somebody, but Hitler liked to destroy Russia in 3 months. From point of view Hitler, maybe it's okay. But from point of view, your comrade Stalin and my, as a chief of military intelligence, it's a rubbish. It's a stupidity, because Soviet Union, it's a 10,000 kilometer, yeah, from west to east. If Hitler captured 1,000 kilometer every month, it's not possible. He need 1 year to go to Vladivostok, yeah? You say, blitzkrieg, what kind of blitzkrieg? Do they have some kind of sheepskin coat? No. You see, so they are not ready for a war. And Russian intelligence was absolutely right. They are not ready. And now, I just look all German books, and they say, we are not destroyed by Red Army. We destroyed by big territory. It's terrible climate. I say, that's fantastic. You see, so it is such a strange idea. We've been destroyed by territory. We're destroyed by space. You see, so it is just, can you imagine? I say, look, ladies and gentlemen, I can climb Everest, but actually it's high. If it's not high, of course I will, you see, climb to Everest. It's what the Nazis saying, you see, so just, it's too big. If it's too big, please find some kind of Luxembourg and fight against Luxembourg, yes? So if they just saying, you see, so if it's not so big, you see, so just, it's very strange approach of all Nazi propaganda. They just saying, look, in Russia there is no road. No road, yes. And they say, winter is terrible, yes, and no roads and mud. I just say, yes, but before attack Russia, you have to send one super spy to Russia, and he have to send you top secret information, top secret telegram. Dear Hitler, you see, so Russia actually it's a big country. You see, so. No, really. They realize it's a big country after they defeat it. They say, oh, yes, it's a big, yes, soldier. They say, oh, it's a bad road. Look, if you and me, we try to climb Everest, we have to have some kind of special equipment, yeah? We have no, and after say, oh, it's because it's very big, you see. If you and me, we try to cross some kind of desert, you see, so we need water, we have to think about that. And now we just say, oh, but there is no water in the desert, you see, so if there is water and Pepsi Cola, why not, you see, so we can do it, yeah. So it is a German approach, yeah. So it's enough for you for one question, yes? So about how Russia can do that all jump, industrial jump up. there is a very simple thing, that miracle, industrial miracle. Number one, slave labor force, concentration camps. You see, so you need to build something in Siberia. You just say for Comrade Yezhov or Comrade Yegoda, you see, so I need 100,000. Okay, it will be 100,000. You don't need to pay them at all. It's number one. Number two, it is quite talented people, you see, so Russians, yeah? You agree?
Absolutely.
It is a country, you see, so with very low level of living standard, country send first satellite in space, you see, so it's an answer for you. Yes, we can do it, we clever people, yeah? So just, we can launch first dog in space, it's a Russian dog, yes? So first woman in space, it's a Russian woman, yes? So first man in space, Yuri Gagarin, yes, we can do it. If we playing chess, yeah, of course there is some Fisher, yes, but that's exception, you see, so, but, yes, and there is a country which so lots of, we have everything, we have a gas, we have a oil, we have a gold, we have a platinum, we have everything, you see, so, and Adolf Hitler, you see, so, he have nothing, actually, I show you just screwdriver, it's the simplest, tool, you see, so, and here we just say, blah, 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 blah. We say chrome and vanadium, here, yes, so, Hitler have no such a thing, you see, so, he have no oil, he have no, nothing, you see, so, in Germany, and Stalin supply him, he say for him, Adolf, please, fight against Europe, you see, so, you need oil, I will give you oil, you need food, I will give you food. You see, so you need chrome, vanadium, and anything I will supply you. Please fight. And he fighting. So how Russia made that industrial miracle? Number one, I repeat, slave labor, which cost nothing. Number two, country have enormous resources what they collected for hundreds of years. So it was icons, golden, you see, so in churches. They all take that and sold it. You see, so. And number three, thank you very much, it was American help. You see, so just the biggest tank factory in the world now, you see, in the Guinness Book of Records, it's built by the America. You see, so just design in America. They just came, you see, so to Russia with their design. Or biggest aircraft factory, Komsomolsk-na-Amure. You see, so it is American design and slave labor. So we have too much gold, we give to America, America give us factory, you see, so and we put our slaves. No, and if we need good tank design, good tank design, where is Walter Christie? Yes, so it's a great American tank designer. Walter Christie. So Russian just knock and say, Walter, can you give us, you see, best tank in the world? He say, yes, okay, you see, so that is and America never accept that tank. From Walter Christie tank BT, you see, so it is a T-34, it is why we're so clever, yeah? So why all that success? And answer for your question, why they produce Su-2, you see, so after attack. Not everybody read that book, not yet. I hope you see it, very soon you will. So, in 1936, Comrade Stalin just asked his top designer, Tupolev, Polikarpov, you see, Sukhoi, give them good lunch, you see, so good drink, caviar, you see, so, and say, boy, I need one aircraft, design aircraft, you see, so, name of aircraft, it will be Ivanov. Ivanov, why Ivanov? Because he said, we have to produce as many that aircraft as Ivanovs in Russia. You see, so just so hundreds of thousands. They try to produce 100,000. You see, so and 150,000 pilots. So, and what Stalin need? You think it's the fastest fighter? No. Big strategic bomber? No. He need one small aircraft, just very looks like a Japanese Nakajima which attacked Pearl Harbor. You see, and I give a picture of that two aircraft. It's a twins. Japanese prepare offensive war. They just thinking in that way. Stalin think exactly in same way. They don't know each other. It is a secret here and secret here, but they produce exactly same aircraft. Only Japanese have 173 of them, Nakajima and Pearl Harbor, and Stalin planned 100,000. You see, just the difference. And why not to produce them in a mass before attack? Before attack, they have a 20,000 aircraft. Hitler have a to attack Russia, 2.5 something. You see, so and Stalin have a 20,000 anyway. And when he will destroy main German forces, he need afterward. He have to capture Asia, he have to capture Africa, you see, so there is no big resistance. After that, we will start produce like a Henry Ford car, mass production. We don't need very fast aircraft, we don't need very expensive, we need very simple aircraft for, you see, so captured territory which is not very well protected. And what other question?
I don't want to monopolize with my
Yeah.
questions, but I wondered about the Finnish War. The
Finnish
war with
War, yes.
why Hitler thought that this was a
It's
Soviet defeat, really,
Yes.
in effect.
Number one, you see, so it was not a Soviet defeat. Soviet propaganda always show, you see, so just there is a Finland, and Russia attacked Finland, and 3 months they cannot capture Finland. Yeah, so just it show how bad the Red Army. You see, so just actually before Finland in August 39, Russian army, you see, in Khalkhin-Gol defeated Japanese army number 6. You see, so and it is a great strategic victory. Nobody ever before destroy one Japanese army. So, what Stalin have to do? I have a memoirs of General Ortenberg, who was a chief editor of Red Star, central newspaper. Stalin personally asked Ortenberg and say for him, no one word about my victory in Khalkhin-Gol. So in that time, it was no publicity in Russia about Khalkhin-Gol. They never say, look, we are very nice. You see, so we are so powerful. Because Stalin's interest was to look like not very powerful. It's number one. Number two, when it was Finland, in few months, somebody say, look, you cannot fight against Finland, yeah? But, number one, temperature -30, I don't know how to understand in your Fahrenheit, but it's a very cold. And I ask you, gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, did you ever try to sleep one night in -30? Just one night.
In the open.
In the open, yes. In the snow, yes. So, did you ever fight in -25? Any example in American history when one division, you see, so just 10,000, 20,000 people fighting in -25 and snow 1.5 meters, it's like that, you see, so who ever fight? In Great Britain, if there is a snow like that, it's a national disaster, you see, so really, you see, so just you're just ready for that. But in Great Britain, it's my God, you see, so all countries stop, all school closed, you see, and they say, stupid Russian, you see, so you cannot fight when, you see, so snow 1.5 meters. Yes, so I say, yeah, try yourself. So actually, who lost war in Finland? It is Adolf Hitler. He lost war in Finland. When it was such a terrible war, and nearly 1 million Russian soldiers for 3 months, they captured. You see, so it's just, imagine Manner game line, you cannot avoid it. You cannot do it. You see, so there is a Maginot Line, Hitler have a way out. You see, so something. In that situation, you have to come through, that's all. It's why it's built just here and not somewhere else. You have to come from. So, all military specialists of the world just say, look, no one army can penetrate that defensive line, ever. Red Army did it in 3 months. They say, you're stupid Russian, yeah? Isn't it strange? You see, so first of all military experts say it is not possible. Red Army made something not possible, and everybody say you're not ready for a war. Yeah? So, very interesting thing. Afterwards, Stalin never considered it is something defeat of Red Army. Stalin, in a Stalin point of view, it is a first case in history when army penetrated such a defense. In the First World War, there is no such example. In the previous centuries, no such example when army penetrated such a defense, particularly in such condition, -30. Nobody ever. So, the commander of front, it was Timoshenko. Stalin made him Minister of Defense, People's Commissar of Defense. You see, so it is not Zhukov who defeated Japanese in Khalkhin Gol, became a Minister of Defense, but the man who penetrated that line. It's number one. And Chief of Staff Meretskov, he became Chief of General Staff. So Stalin rewarded his generals. He said, yes, boys, it is a nice thing. But if Adolf Hitler, you see, so in that time when Russian fighting in Finland, I just look Hebel's diary, and Hebel's just saying, wow, 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 that's a Russian, they so stupid, they cannot fight in such condition. I say, in that situation, Hitler have to send one German platoon, and to fight in that condition. And just to look, you see, so what is it to fight in a -30? Actually, for Red Army, that Finland, it was a very good example. It's very nice thing. Look, when I escaped, I produced a book called Liberators, and I explain Russian military technology bad, Russian soldiers bad, you see generals stupid, strategy bad, and so on and so on. And all experts who just look Russia, there is two kind of experts. Some of them say, you see, so it is a very bad army and so on. And some of them just say, it's a very good army. So, and everybody who say, yes, it's bad army, they say, you're a great man. I say, yes, I am. Next year, I produce a book called Inside the Soviet Army. And it's become book of the month in the United States. Everybody who just say, yes, it's great army, say, you're a great boy. Yes, so I say, yes, yes. And only one man say, yes, stop. You say it's a very bad army, and you say it's a very good army, yeah? So, where is truth? I say, oh my God, yeah. So, and actually, I'm not liar, you see, so I know it's a very bad army, and I give lots of examples, you see, so, and I say it's a very good army, and lots of examples, come on. So, actually, once I've been in Florida, it was a crocodile farm. It's a place where they just made film about James Bond. You remember, he just jumping over crocodiles. And I understand. I am right. I am right. I am right. You see, so just, let's just ask people, please describe me crocodile. But you describe only what you saw yourself personally. And you say for me, crocodile, it's immobile thing. You see, so. In Washington, you see in a zoo, I'm watching crocodile for 4 hours. It's immobile, you see so. Yeah. I cannot be as immobile as crocodile, yeah, just sitting. And you say to me, come on, you see, I look film, it's a crocodile Dundee, you see, so it's a very mobile thing, yeah? So you can say crocodile is a very stupid creature. Yes, and you're right, yes, so just, and somebody say, no, it's very clever, and it's very clever. And somebody say, crocodile cannot eat, you see, so just for 4 months. And you're right. And somebody can say, crocodile can eat, you see, so just big zebra, you see, like that, yeah? So I cannot, I try, you see, so not to eat for 4 months. I cannot do it, yeah? I try to eat zebra, I cannot do it, you see, so just... So when you describe crocodile, you will be always right if you use your expert of the Soviet Union, expert of the Russia. And doesn't matter what is the characteristic you use, please always say a word very. You say, Russia, it's a rich country. It's a very rich country. Russia is poor country. Yes, it's a very poor country. Russians clever people. Yes, very clever people. Yes, we're stupid. Yes, we're very stupid people. Yeah, really. Yes, so just, you always right when you just say very, very, very. And it is the exact truth, you see, so when we speak about Red Army, you see, so just, it is a big, big crocodile. When you describe Red Army, and you just say, look, for example, if you like
Victor,
to...
do you want to get
Yes.
some questions from the audience? I think they want to participate.
Can I finish now? Finish, 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
1 minute. If you like to
Пожалуйста.
write, if you like to write a book, you see, so about Russian cannot fight in the winter, and you are right, and you can produce book about winter war. Yes, 3 months they cannot. If you like to produce book Russian can fight in the winter, it is the next year. 41, you see, so near Moscow, they have a winter tactic, they have a winter clothes, they have a ski, they have everything. If somebody try to produce book, Russian cannot defend city. Wonderful, wonderful example. The best city in the world, of course, it's after Washington, it's Kiev, yes. So there is a Dnieper River, and in the west bank of Dnieper, there is a beautiful city, Kiev. Russian tried to protect it. Germany captured 664,000 people. You see, so it is an example how not to protect city. Yes, if you write to produce some opposite book, next year, 1942, exactly same situation, big river. It's called Volga. In the West Bank, there is a big city called Stalingrad, and it is an example for a century how to do it. So when I describe Red Army, you see as a bad and so on and so on, you see, so I'm always right. Your question, sir, please.
Okay, if everybody could, we've got a microphone, we've got 2 people coming around with the microphone. If you could just speak slowly to make sure everybody who understands, who doesn't, who may not know English that well, and clearly into the mic, and identify yourself by name and affiliation if you can. Why don't we start with our colleague from Kommersant.
Does it work? Yeah, I guess so. Dmitry Sidorov, Kommersant, Russian Business and Political Daily. I hope I will be allowed a couple of questions. It will not going to be. It's not going to be about crocodiles or something like that. But the first question is: you were talking about the 1939 mobilization, and you said that basically it indicates that increasing the number of soldiers from 1 million to 5.5 million, Stalin was ready for the war. And due to the fact that it's a 2-year term in the army, the soldiers should have been back home in
Yes.
1941, so it should be somewhere between that.
Yes.
Those days. Now, my question is, why, for example, after the soldiers, these draftees of 1939 would have come home in 1941, Stalin would not have declared a new mobilization and bring up another 5.5 million draftees or soldiers and start the war a little bit later? This is the first question. The second question is about Japanese and Russian plans for the Ivanov fighter. I call it
Yeah.
a joint name. Now, as far as I understand, there was Richard Zorge in Japan, who, as far as I understand, was very good in updating Stalin on different Japanese military complex plans. While you were saying that they didn't know about that. Both sides didn't know about their plans. So as far as I understand, Stalin was quite aware of the Japanese plans to produce this kind of a plane. Maybe I'm mistaken. The other thing is about Finland, and it's the last one. Talking about Finland, you're insisting that
Actually, what I'll try to say to you, always Western expert just looking Russian leader and try to predict what will be next step of Russian. You see, so just and there is a lots of situation when Soviet-Russian move. It's absolutely unpredictable for you. Why is it? Because you use your logic, you interpolate into Russians, and you presume they have the same kind of logic. You see, so, and one of the clever men, you see, I respect him very much, Vladimir Bukovsky, he said, you always will be wrong, you will never understand their next move, because it is a wrong kind of expert made prediction. It have to be different kind of expert. For example, if you take one big policeman from Manhattan who 20 years fighting against Manhattan mafia, and you ask him to look all what Soviet leadership doing, you see, so, and ask him to predict what they will do, he will just give you exact prediction, because he will understand who they are, you see, so. So when you just say, you see, so how many soldiers died, it's such a strange thing, you see, so just, it doesn't matter, it just, you see, so in my book, now published in Russia, I just show Синявские высоты, there is an area, Синявские near Leningrad, and it was cemetery, 128,000 soldiers, you see, so it is a small casualties, you see, so just, and main Russian newspaper, Red Star, say, you see, so just only small amount of them here in a burial, all others all around, you see, so there is 100,000 of them. So how many, doesn't matter, it's a Comrade Stalin. Your philosophy, you see, so human life, oh, it's so important, we have to just save Private Ryan, you see, so no way, Private Ivanov have to die for homeland. More casualties you have, you see, it's better for a country. Up to now, all our philosophy is within great patriotic war. And now criminal regime in Russia does exist only because every family, in each family, there is a casualties. In my family, you see, so in your family, in all your family, yes? Yes. So they just say, yes, we're suffering, we're suffering, we're suffering. If there is no that casualties, regime would collapse. So their approach, it's very different. About Richard Zorga, and that aircraft. Of course, in 1939, they know about that aircraft, but they start to produce what I mean, what I try to explain. In 1936, when Russians start to produce, they have no technical data of secret Japanese aircraft at that time. You see, so, and Japanese have no technical data of, they start from zero, you see, from scratch. They start to design aircraft that country and that country. And actually, result was exactly the same. You see, so just nearly same characteristic. And what other question you?
The mobilization.
Yes, mobilization. About mobilization. Mobilization is a very expensive stuff. And the Chief of General Staff of Red Army, Boris Mikhailovich Shaposhnikov, he explained what is mobilization. He said, look, he produced a very nice book called Brain of the Army, Mosque Army. And the third part of his, there is a free part of the book, third about mobilization, most important. He say mobilization is a war. Mobilization, when you start mobilization, there is no such a thing, mobilization and a war. Mobilization means we start the war. So he say, look, if you're a person, you cannot hold two revolvers simultaneously into your hands. Not, because you have to eat, you have to do something, so your pistol is here. When you're fighting, your pistol's in your hands. Mobilization, it's a just simple act. When you just in a peace position, now you take your pistols like that. He say, it's, first of all, it's a very dangerous stuff. When I take my pistol like that, you're doing exactly same thing. And now who will kill whom, you see? So we say never play with mobilization. It cannot be part mobilization. It has to be only mobilization 100%. You see, so, and what is the reason to keep enormous reserve of 5 million young boys? You see, first of all, to keep them in a reserve, and suddenly, 1st of September, to ask them into army. You see, so after, when they go home, Stalin have no such a reserve to ask all 18s, all 19s, all 20 years old, all 21. He have no such a reserve in 41. Not at all. You see, so it is just like, I repeat, there is a water mill and you just put water, 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 and suddenly you open it. And very interesting thing about that, you see, 1st of September 1939, when Soviet supremacy, Russian parliament, you see, so take that decision, you see, so today it will be universal military service, today. And we just reduce that from 21 to 18. But, and we explain, because in that day, you see, Second World War started. A good question, how you know that? If Adolf Hitler, 1st of September, he fight against Poland. You see, when France and Great Britain declared war for him, he was surprised. You see, so it's number one. But number two, that speech of Marshal Voroshilov to Supreme Russian Parliament was 39 of August. 39 of August, he say, comrades, we need new legislation. So how the vote was next day, 1st of September, but actually need of that, it was 31st of August. It was no Second World War, but I say you more. It was extraordinary session of Russian Parliament. Это четвертая внеочередная сессия Верховного Совета. Внеочередная. But Russia is a big country. If you like to take all that delegate to Moscow, you need ask them before, because it was no aircraft in that time and so on. So Stalin asked that 19 of August. 19 of August, he say, Hitler, please send Ribbentrop, we will divide Poland. Same time, same day, Stalin say, 19 of, please collect all that delegates to Moscow to take new. And exactly same day, 19 of August, they start to design, to build new and new and new formation. For example, they have a 98 rifle division, infantry division. And in 2 years, they have 196, 196. In that time, when August 1939, in the Soviet army, it was two field armies, two, and both in the Far East. When Hitler attacked, Russia had 28 armies, 25 of them in the western part of Russia. Isn't it interesting? Adolf Hitler, it's a bad enemy, you see, so, and I have only two armies and they are in the Far East. I sign agreement with you, you're my friend now, and I built, from zero, I built 25 armies in his border. Isn't it strange? And say, Stalin believed Hitler, you see, so it's wonderful, yes? So, amount of Air Force division from, in 2 years, from 0 to 79. Tank division from 0 to 63. Motorized division from 2 to 31. You see, so all amount of divisions, you see, from 120 to 303. So, Rifle Corps from 25 corps, you see, so infantry corps, from 25 to 62. So mechanized corps from 4 to 29. So it just, when you made such a mobilization, you have to be ready for economic collapse of the country. Because you see, so Can you imagine to feed 4 extra million boys in your army, to feed them, and to some accommodation for them, and uniform for them, and you take them from industry before they produce bread, tanks, guns, and so on. Now you take them out of. So when you start mobilization, you see, actually, I'm sorry about, I cannot show you that picture, but in a book and later, please look that picture when Stalin and Ribbentrop smiling to each other. Behind Stalin always there is a Boris Mikhailovich Shaposhnikov and smiling. You see, it is a man who just say mobilization is a war. If we start mobilization, that's all. There is no way back. There is a one way. He say it's a mobilization, it's a military pregnancy. You cannot be, you see, so little bit pregnant. It's a war. Mobilization, yes. Oh, sorry about that picture. You see, so that is a Mr. Ribbentrop, you recognize him. Yes, that is a Mr. Stalin, but there is a Mr. Shaposhnikov behind them. So, in my opinion, that picture, sorry about that quality, you see, so just technology. So, but it's a situation when Ribbentrop signing his personal death sentence. And, sorry about other questions. If you invite me once more, you see, I will answer all your questions. Please, about that thing. When war finished, they hanged Ribbentrop in Nuremberg. And I say, why? Why? He signed peace with you. He never says nothing wrong, yeah? He never declared. So actually, during Nuremberg trial, Soviet judges just saying, look, you attack us without warning, without declaration of the war. And Ribbentrop say, no, I declare war for you. And Russians say, no, without declaration. Okay, let's believe communist propaganda. Without declaration. So why you hang him? If he never declare war, you see, if generals attack without any diplomatic involvement, why he is guilty? He just signed peace with you, yes? But reason was very simple. Because Ribbentrop realized what's actually happened. And he was ready to speak, you see, just to say, we've been in a trap. We've been in a trap. All German general, Manstein, Guderian, and say, you see, so, yes, just we are ready to sign anything, you see, to write memoir in a right way, what you want. So they all survive. They are military criminals, but they never put Guderian, Manstein, you see, so to a trial. I have a question, please.
Well, let's do it systematically. We've got 2 gentlemen here right across from each other. You had your hand up, right? Yeah, and then you had your, well, I give it to the person who's got right there, hand up right now.
Victor.
Then give it to the person next to, and then
Is
we'll
this
move back.
on? Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
My name's Alex Van Moss. I'm at the Foreign Service Institute. I've read that Hitler attacked, Stalin panicked, didn't do anything for a few days, was afraid he was going to be executed, and then they said, no, we want you to be our leader. What's the truth there?
Yes, I have an answer for that. You see, so in Moscow there is a Tretьяков gallery, and there is a very beautiful picture. It is Крестьянин в беде, Чижов. So there is a peasant, and Крестьянин в беде. You see, so what's here? It's the one I was in Tretьяковka. I always have the same question. You see, so I say, well, what's actually happened? Now, when we just look archives and we realize it is not Stalin, not panic, not at all. You see, so first day, second day, third, fourth. You see, so it was enormous activity. When Stalin start, for example, at 3 in the morning, you see, so and finish something, you see, 3 in just next day, something like that, 3-4 hours of sleep, and again, and again, and again. Only 28th of June, you see, so he disappeared for 2 days. So I said, that is very strange, you see, so actually, it cannot happen like that. Something happen, and after that I'm frightened. No, human psychology, it's different. I especially, you see, so it's a very interesting question. Thank you very much for that. It's very important for me as well. I try to understand it. For example, there is a cancer clinics, yes, and there is a people who waiting result, you see, so maybe yes, maybe no. They very frightened. Suddenly there is a doctor and say, yes, you got it, yeah? And people after that, they okay, you see, so after that they are not frightened anymore. Or, for example, there is a marvelous American film about shark, yes, so before we saw shark, you see, it's so frightening, you see, so suddenly when shark appears, we say, oh, it's a rabbi, you see, so just something like that. But before it appears, it's very frightening, you see, so, you remember, yeah, wow, yes, it's no, really, it's frightening, and then suddenly it appears, that's all. So what's happened? Actually, all world literature explained, you see, so when we don't know what is in front of us, it's very frightening. When it's happened, it's not. For example, Ivanko, you see, there is a Jewish man, you see, captured by very bad guys, you see, they start torture, and he said, oh, it's okay, you see, so before he was very frightened. When torture started, he is okay. So what's actually happened with Comrade Stalin, you see, first of all, Hitler attack, before he is not frightened, and suddenly he is panicked. No, it's not panic. It's something like there is a peasant, and that peasant, all his life, built his house, his, you see, farm, and suddenly there is a fire. And fire destroy everything. And he start to stop fire. He starts stop it. And when everything finished, he sit down and say, oh my God. You see, there is a small boy say, come on, Dad. You see, so, but it is a frustration. It's ultimate frustration. So Stalin, you see, so, all his life, he always was a very smart guy. You see, so there is a Trotsky, he killed him. There is a just Zinoviev, Bukharin, he come into power. He just give Adolf Hitler, you see, everything what he want. He just start Second World War like he like, you see, so just Hitler destroy all the Europe, and Stalin prepared his might to liberate Europe. And suddenly, Hitler just attacked first. And Stalin tried to change situation, and suddenly he realized, you see, so everything is finished. Yes, Second World War, it is lost by Soviet Union. Because for Stalin, what is the Second World War? Why he started? To capture at least Europe. You see, so he understand. If he not captured Europe, so Soviet Union cannot economically compete with the free society. Soon or later it will collapse. And Stalin was right, and it collapsed. So it is a situation when, can you imagine, you and me, we are two great clever designers. You and me, yes, so. And we design very, very big spacecraft. You see, soldiers, and we ask government, give us money. Yes, they don't give, yes. We just ask spies, please give us super technology, they give to us, and we build that, you see, so. And suddenly, in the last moment, you see, so, we press a button, and suddenly our missile blow up, boom, you see, so. And you sitting just like that, you see, so, oh my God, you see, so. So Stalin, it was ultimate frustration. It is a situation when I was in that Tretyakovka, you see, and just looking like that, and suddenly, oh, I say, yes, it is. It's a Comrade Stalin. You see, when he realized everything is finished. That's all. You see, and it is a small boy. You see, come on, Dad. It's Politburo say for Stalin, come on, maybe we can do something. You see, so. And Stalin say, okay, after 2 days, yeah, okay, you see, so. It is a why. In 1945, victory parade, and Stalin have to be victorious, you see, so. And he say, no, no, no. You see, so he says, somebody else in a white horse, please, you have to accept parade. Somebody say, maybe Stalin cannot ride horse. Doesn't matter. It was the best tank in the world. You see, T-34. He can appear in T-34. The best heavy tank, Iosif Stalin. Yeah. Iosif Stalin too. Iosif Stalin on a tank, Iosif Stalin. We can do it, you see, so, but Stalin say we lost war. In 45, and in my book, I give, you see, so, some evidence of the marshal when it was a victory parade, you see, so Stalin don't consider we have a victory. He fought, you see, so soon or later, Soviet Union will collapse. If it's answer for your question.
Vladimir,
Oh, you can also ask your questions in Russian, by the way, because we have, if that's easier, if we have interpretation. You don't need it, I know, but other people might.
alligator. Question is, doesn't look that person who preparing for a big war, just before war started to clean, so-called quote-unquote clean cadre
Yeah.
of the Red Army.
Exactly.
And detain and kill.
Yes, exactly.
The highest ranking
Yes.
generals and officers.
Right.
Flag officers.
Yes, he have to do it. Yes, sir. Can I explain you? Yes, I understand your question.
And one more question about right at the beginning War II in September 1939, Churchill asked permission to invade Poland from the west and asked permission of Soviet Union to let troops to come to help Poland, and Stalin rejected.
Exactly.
It doesn't look like person who is strategically interested of fighting between Germans and rest of the Europe would reject it.
Yes, I understand your question. Thank you very much. It's a very nice question. Number one, if I am Genghis Khan, you see, so, and I like to capture the whole world, first of all, I have to say, boys, you see, so my dukes, you have to, you see, so I'm boss in that house. You have no opinion at all. If I say you left, you have to go left. If I say right, yes. If you disagree, so any kind of great dictator who start conquer of war, he start to just to put down. He just have to, first of all, have to be dictator in his own country. I have a whole book, you see, so about, it's called Очищение in Russian, about that problem. I say, look, who is Tukhachevsky? It is who is that man? You see, in the Khrushchev time, they say it is a strategic genius. I say, what? He ever been in a war? That guy? In the First World War, he surrendered after 3 months. You see, so they sent him in a war, and all First World War he was in a German captivity. After that, he returned to Russia. He never been company commander. He never been battalion commander. He never been regimental, divisional, brigade, corps, and so on. He returned from German captivity to Russia, and Lenin made him army commander, командующий первой армией, Tukhachevsky. What Tukhachevsky doing, what his great achievement? Это Tambovское восстание, where he used poison gas against Russian people, where he used hostages, you see, so he killed them by thousands and so on. And Kronstadt, it is his victory. But when he have a just Polish army in front of him, he was beaten, you see, so just complete disaster, ultimate disaster. And somebody say, it is genius. He is genius. Polish cavalry beat him just like that. If he met German tanks, of course he will destroy. It's rubbish, yeah? So he was not strategist at all. So Stalin, when there is a whole book. I hope one day it will be published in America. I show you, see, so just Blücher. Blücher was in the Far East. It was Hassan conflict. And his army was disaster. After Stalin asked him, killed him. After next year, it was Khalkhin goal. So when somebody start to just Adolf Hitler, you see, so when he have to be big leader. For that, he have to kill some of his deputies, like Rem and so on. You see, because I am boss in that country, you have to do it. And what is next question? Your question?
Churchill desire.
Oh, yeah. I got, yes. It's the best question ever. So, look, situation. Can you imagine for one moment, for 1 second, I'm extremely sorry. You're Adolf Hitler, okay? For 2 months. Okay, sir. Yeah. Oh, please, I don't hate it. I hate the microphone, yes. It's enough, yes, you can hear me, yes. For 2 seconds, you are Adolf Hitler, yes? And I'm Comrade Stalin, yes? What is the difference between us? It's the shape of our mustache. You see, you have like this and I have No, actually, come on. You see red flag in red flag. You see 4 years plan, 5 years plan. KGB, Gestapo, concentration camp, socialist on the top, socialist on the top. Yeah. You see, only I say, you see, so shape of mustache. Anyway, I say, Hitler, I keep you busy in Spain for 3 years. Yes, so it was a war in Spain, you see, so and Stalin sent, you see, military advisor, equipment, and so on to Spain. So, but if you attack Poland, Poles, we don't like you, we don't like me. But if you attack them, you see, so we will ask help and I will help them. In Spain is far away, but I can send 10 million of my volunteers to Poland. Yeah? So, you see, so you will be in a big trouble. But Stalin said, half Poland for you, half Poland for me, okay? Now, it's the 23rd of August, we sign that agreement. In 1 week we will start, yes? You start, I start. So, 1st of September, you attack Poland, yes? And I say, I'm not ready, yeah? What? Not ready. It's like you and me just try to kill somebody. 1, 2, 3, you say, boom. I say, no bullets, yes, sorry. Who is bad guy? You see, who is innocent? Yes, sir, just, yeah. So it's actually what's happening in Poland. We just say, you see, so let's attack in 1 week. And you are right. You see, after the Ribbentrop said telegram, say, Stalin, you see, so we have an agreement. Yes, so attack. You say, I'm not ready. If I'm clever guy, I would say to you, you see, so I'm not ready. Poland between us. Poland never escaped. I'm not ready. Give me 1 month. You see, let's attack Poland not 1st of September, 1st of October. Next year, in 10 years, you see, I'm not ready. But I say, in 1 week, you say, yes, sir, you attack, I'm not. Now, please, go out of that building, you see, so in the street, ask any small boy, any small girl, you see, who started Second World War? Adolf Hitler, yes? Who is innocent victim, yeah? 17 days later, when Polish army was destroyed, you see, so Red Army coming to Poland. Half Poland for you, half Poland for me. Yes, like very, yes, so only now you have to fight against France, against Great Britain, but behind Great Britain, there is the United States of America. You're lost, sir. That's all. In that time, you are finished. You cannot win. So, when Hitler signed that, you see, so he was finished. It was a trap. It was brilliant trap. You see, so and it's so evident, at least for me. So, half Poland for you, half for me, but you're guilty part, and I'm not. I'm innocent. Yeah? Clever, yeah?
Okay, since we're running out of time, why don't we collect questions from everybody, and then you can respond 5 minutes in public, and then we can carry it on in private. So I want to end on time because we want people to buy your books. Okay, so go ahead, everybody, go ahead and ask your questions.
Yes.
My name's Kurt Windsor. I'm a trustee of the Hudson Institute. Why is it that this has not become known, either before Yalta and by the end of the Second War by Western intelligence, given all of the information that was available? Because had it been known or used, what the strategy that was pursued by the West was inexplicable. How was this kept secret for so long?
You ask me question, why you're so clever? Yes, so.
Those are not.
Yes, I agree.
You're not clever.
Yes,
You
sir.
don't make this
No,
up.
what I'm saying, you see, so. It was Mr. Penkovsky just said that very clever thing here. It is inconvenient truth for us. When it's everything happened, Stalin was ally of Adolf Hitler. Everybody knows that, you see, so. But we try to pretend to forget it, yeah? When it was a trial in Nuremberg, you see, so it was some kind of agreement. You please don't just speak about that. Because all that agreement was signed in Moscow. You don't need to be some secret intelligence. It is in every newspaper. It's signed not in Berlin, but to divide Poland, signed in Moscow. It was no Adolf Hitler there. It was Stalin here. Yeah? So, and everybody tried to just, actually, there is no secrets here. Everything you see, so in that book, there is no secret document whatsoever. I use newspaper Pravda. That's all. Red Star, Pravda, and memoir of our marshals. So, only, I think it's a situation when there is a small fat guy like me, you see, so just look and say, ladies and gentlemen, the king is, you see, so have no some his response, you see, so. That's all, it's just, it is a situation when I pay attention for things which everybody knows that. I just pay attention, that's all.
Everybody knew it, but nobody wrote about it. No historians picked up on it.
Why you ask me? Please ask them, yeah? So, why they never, if they look all that, they have to write that book, you see, so I always surprised and just, I agree with you completely. I always think, I said, why nobody ever just look very evident thing? Yes, it's here, all facts is here. Yes. Why not? Please ask them, you see, I ask you to ask them, yes? Thank you. Yes, please.
Alex Pimenov, Russian service of VOA. I wanted to thank you for this excellent presentation, although certainly I'm far from sharing your opinion.
Good.
But going back to the very beginning and even to the eve of World War II, actually to the first days of World War II, I'm sorry, not of World War II, but of the Russian-German War.
Yes.
I have to say that you do have predecessors. For example, one of them was the SS chief Heinrich Himmler, who a couple of days later, a couple of days after the beginning of the war between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany, addressed a group of the SS people going to the Eastern Front. In the speech he delivered that day, he characterized the very nature of Germany's war against Soviet Russia, more or less the way you are doing this now. Because what he said was that was a preemptive war, that Hitler, the great leader of Nazi Germany, had practically prevented the Soviet Union from attacking Germany.
Yes.
But even Himmler, didn't say in the speech that was the only motivation for Germany to attack Russia. My question for you is whether or not you accept that from the Nazi German perspective, there were any other motivations to start the war against the Soviet Union other than just preventing it from attacking Germany? Thank you.
Definitely, we have lots of, it's a very good question, thank you very much. It was lots of other reasons, definitely, you see, so, but in a situation when Germany has to control Europe, and Europe generally have no resources, sources. Sooner or later, in Europe, it has to happen economic crisis, food crisis, financial crisis, you see, so just even Germany do nothing. They just control Europe, which just surrounded by British Navy, you see, and so on. So it is a very strange, somebody say, yes, Hitler needs some territories in Soviet Union. For me, it's very strange. It's, I don't like think like a German generals thinking. You see, so definitely preemptive strike. It was the main motivation, but you're right. It was other motivation as well. For example, they think, look, if Great Britain we have not enough navy and enough aviation. You see, so why not just to wait a little bit with war against Great Britain, but attack maybe Russia first, you see, and so on. So definitely it was some racistic, some Nazi propaganda, some Nazi ideology. Yes, to destroy it. Yes, it was. Yes, but main thing, it is like Adolf Hitler say, it was defensive war. You see, it is very strange. And I repeat, I start my presentation by saying, you see, so for me, Adolf Hitler is a murderer, he is a criminal, he is a cannibal. You see, so, but it was our cannibal. It was a fight of cannibals.
And on this optimistic note, maybe we should.
Yeah, okay, let's break the formal session. Sorry, sir, but you can come. We want to then allow the author to sign books, and then, of course, you're free to discuss the material with them and continue to debate further. Thank you so much for coming. I also want to give a special thanks to our speaker, to our commentators, and to Iona Saratzis, who, because of the fact that our normal media person is from Pittsburgh, was not able to be here today. So Iona's greatly stepped in, ran the book show, ran the AV equipment, everything. Thank you so much.